So many times now.
La France jumping out.
Okay, good afternoon, France. I'm Dan reporting in from France Televisions here in Paris. Welcome to an exclusive episode of France Behind the Scenes. Today we have retired General, Millionaire, Chief Executive Officer, and Chairman of A&C Corporation, a potential future political candidate, Mr. Aric the Dragon, and his director, co-founder, Mr. Nirvion. So, thank you both for coming. Are you ready to get started?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, starting with our question for Aric. What was your service like within the French Armed Forces? How did it feel to be in such a prestigious role such as general?
Um, well, it was great. Thanks for asking. I had a huge involvement with how the government ran in its quite complicated days. I was there for our security meetings. I was there for our NATO meetings. I was on the military committee on NATO, if anyone doesn't know that. Um, but I had a lot of fun and a lot of good time with our allies, with Britain, United States, Australia, Singapore, New Zealand. They all came together for Operation No Russian, particularly against Northern Ireland and Russia. But yeah, it was just a great position to be in.
How interesting. Now, moving over to Nervian, what is A&C Corporation for those listening who don't know what it is?
And Company Corporation is basically a holding company which includes many services such as petrol, oil, investments, banking, real estate. We also have a legal firm which has one of the best lawyers in our country. And yeah, that is it.
Quite a large company then. Back to Aric. What led you to retiring from the role and forming a mega corporation instead? Because that is a very big shift in a career.
Well, that's a good question. It's a great question. During the after the complications with Russia and NATO pulling out of the Russian war, well, the Northern Ireland Russian war, the board of the security got a bit tense. A lot of people started retiring, started rehiring. Some weren't the greatest picks. So I was either deciding between going through being a politician straight away in its early days or being a businessman. So I retired, hooked up my old friend here, got a few other friends, and we just decided, huh, we can't decide on one thing, so why don't we just do it all? And that's pretty much how it came together.
All right, back over to Nervian. How would you describe your role in the organization?
Well, my role in the organization is basically managing all of the services we currently have, such as the Open L banking organization, which is owned by Montrix, which is our banking president.
I see, very important then. Back over to Aric. How would you compare the French armed forces from when you were in charge to now, where there isn't even a general?
Well, sometimes it's hard to realize that the country we know and love has is without the proper commanding of the French armed forces. We don't have any admiral. We don't have a general. I don't even think we have a lieutenant general. Matter of that fact. I think that it needs some work for sure, but it's a community, a social area, and it will expand. It expanded while I was in there, and I guess it will expand now. So I have full faith in it, although it's not at its best. But yeah,
Do you think that the French army can recover from its lack of command?
I mean, oh, I don't understand why anyone would assume not. There are plenty of potential candidates out there. I wasn't you know, in the immediate position to be CDS Chief Defense Staff, but I took it. I went through with it. The community rose. And by the end, as I said, tensions between the board, the Ministry of the Armed Forces, like the minister wasn't providing any support to us, wasn't helping us organize, and I guess it just crumbled. But it had done this before. The armed forces wasn't as good as it always was. So I guess if you just put work in it, it'll come back.
All right, over to Nirvion, assuming you're there. Yep. How
Yep.
have you known Mr. Aric for a long time, and what would you say about him?
Well, I would say he's a man of intellect because when I was in any other businesses and political situations, he was the only one who I could trust. And he has been beside me for over a year, I would suppose. And yeah.
All right, back over to Mr. Aric, and I believe you've alluded to this question throughout the interview, so let's ask it directly. Is it true you're deciding to establish a political party?
Oh, well, I don't know where you've got this, but yes, I am.
That's very interesting. I think I'll have a lot of questions to ask about that. But first, quickly to Mr. Nervian again. Will you also be getting involved in this political party? Are you going to go anywhere else in France?
Well, well, that merely decides on my fate. But personally, I'm not trying to be situated with politics. I want to be like strictly within business, like um this holding company, etc. And if the people of the company, like, or my friends tell me to actually join, then I will join.
Okay,
But
back to over to Mr. Aric. What will this mean for your company, starting a new political party?
Well, I hope it'll bring reach throughout the country, but I hope it'll help people realize that this company isn't just for money hungry pigs. It is for people that care about the the community, people that care about French citizens, the people that care about providing for who needs to be provided for. But I think it is just to bring closer attention to the fact that there are needs in this country and there are need nots in this country.
What would you say to someone who may say it could be a bit corrupt, you as the leader of a business also entering government potentially?
Well, of course, the accusations are there. I mean, who wouldn't accuse someone who has been in a position of power in the army, someone who is now a like obviously a millionaire owner of a corporation that like provides fundamentals all throughout the countries in different sectors. Of course, the corruption accusations will be there. I mean, look at any example really.
So corruption is just how politics works.
No, corruption is an immediate response to people getting into politics. So if I were to walk in a door today, walk in the Parliament door, and walked out tomorrow as the Prime Minister, well, yes, there'd be obvious signs of corruption there. But I intend on having no corruptions. There is no one that can pay me off. I don't need anyone to pay me off. I don't need to pay anyone off. I have the confidence in my own ability and the party that I've already gathered ability. Lovely
Okay,
question.
back over to Nervian. How do you feel about Project Gallia altogether? About what the community has built up? About how the current services are functioning? What's your overall opinion on everything? So, are you still with us? Would you like me to repeat the question? Well, I've got plenty of questions for Aric. Um, so about this party that you're looking to establish, do you have any idea of what kind of name it would be? Who will fill the roles? You know, basic general political stuff, really.
Yeah, of course. Great question. Well, I have a few comrades over at my A&N company corporation, um, and they have already filled some positions. I will personally take president of the party, but I am not sure if I want to be the leading candidate yet. I do intend to get into a role of the ministry, maybe the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Commerce. It doesn't matter, something that I have history in. But there is no final conclusions for this party or how it is going to run at this moment.
Right, now that Nirvion is back and hopefully there are no more technical difficulties. Sorry, we're back after a very short break there. Now we're going to talk about something that may be a bit more controversial. Now this will be an open question to both of you. If you'd like to take it in turns or have it more as a discussion, that's up to you two. However, the new government states that it will be introducing new regulations for businesses across the country. System for registering businesses is quite easy at the moment, though talks of changes are coming presumptively to make it harder. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'll start. Um, well, uh, but I don't really see the need of it. Why would there be any need of it? The businesses have been registering smooth. There's been no issues to my record that I've seen, or the businesses have been operating smoothly enough. Maybe a little bit of regulation on production, and if it is good for the community at all, if it's providing anything, sure. But I don't think the entry needs to be really any harder.
Nervian, do you have any points on that?
So I believe that
No, 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 no. Wait, 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 wait. Wait, 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 wait.
Okay, sorry, that was another break there. But we have time for just one more question. Now, this one's a little more personal to me. Since I joined last year in 2025 in December, I was appointed Minister for Justice or an equivalent title. So I'd like to ask to Aric, what is your party going to do about the justice system? Is there anything you're particularly interested in? Anything that you want to change?
Well, I personally believe I haven't had much issue with the justice system. I had one run in with the justice system during my time as general, and they handled it wonderfully. I haven't heard news of scandals, I haven't had news of bad deals or anything like that since then. I don't see an issue. I suppose I could oversee it for a little bit, take notes. Obviously, take no position in it, but just take notes to see how it's working. But I expect there to be no real issues to contend.
All right. Well, it was lovely to have both of you on, but I think we're unfortunately going to have to end it there. That is today for France. Thank you all for tuning in. This was Dan, Aric, and Nervian in France behind the scenes. We hope to see you next time.